Hi everyone, this is Casey from the geNKY Public Library and our local history and genealogy department. And today, once again, we have Adventures in the Archive video series. This month, for February, of course, is Black History Month, so we wanted to highlight a collection that people might not know too much about, the Mary E. Smith Cemetery Collection. So for those of you that have been following us for a while now, you might remember back in 2020, we actually did a virtual tour of Mary E. Smith. We went around and did a couple graves there of some prominent African American individuals that are from the Kenton County area, especially Erlanger, Ellesmere, where the cemetery is located. Both of those videos was divided up into two parts. That's available right now on our YouTube page, the Kenton Library YouTube page specifically. So if you have any interest in learning more about the cemetery itself with some people that are buried there, that's a really fun video to take a look at and learn more about that area and maybe some individuals that you weren't sure of their history. So again, today our video is going to be a little bit more about the cemetery records itself, and then maybe a little bit of background about some other resources in the department for African American genealogy research. For the actual collection itself, we do have a physical copy of the Mary E. Smith Cemetery book here. This is located in our non-circulating reference section up in the department. And you can see it lists all the individuals buried in that cemetery out in Ellesmere. If you're doing research online, this is also available in geNKY, our print database. So it makes it real easy if you have a name of a family member or ancestor that you think might be buried out there. You can go on to geNKY, look under Mary E. Smith Cemetery Collection, and you can pop in a name to see if anything comes up for you. So again, that was a little bit more about that cemetery, the resources that we have featuring the collection. I also just want to kind of briefly mention that doing the cemetery research out there at Mary E. Smith, I was really kind of fascinated by the sort of breadth of, the number of people that are buried out there, the years, the amount of military people buried as well. We also get a lot of patrons ask, how do you do these tours? How does that come about? The number one question we usually get is, how do you determine names of people buried? How do you pick the people buried in the cemetery to do reports over? And mainly we try to pick the most important people first. A lot of cemeteries are connected with a church, or, like Mary E. Smith, that was a very prominent African American area during that time period. So we try to find the prominent people that live there, people connected with churches, reverends. A lot of times we like to do things for teachers. So that's usually the first thing we go for. And then afterwards, we usually do a tour of that cemetery first, and if you find interesting names, we try to do background on that as well. So that's kind of a little bit of background into the cemetery tours as well. Just to kind of follow up on some events going on in the department for Black History Month for February this year. We have the scanning bee for faces and places. We're looking for anything connected with the Covington Eastside community, Lincoln Grant High School as well, and any African American families in the area too. We're definitely trying to kind of build up that type of collection for faces and places. And likewise, we're also doing some one-on-one genealogy research specifically for people doing research on their African American ancestors. That's going to be going on February 16th all day and March 21st as well, so you're free to come into the department during that time and get some research done. And lastly, we have an online presentation on the life of John Singer, who was one of Covington's earliest free black settlers and business owners. That program is going to be put on by Paul Duryea, who is our branch manager here at Covington, and that's going to be February 23rd at 6 p.m. and registration is required for that program. So hopefully you learn more about a collection that might be unfamiliar to you, and if you have any kind of relative that you're looking for that might be buried out in Mary E. Smith, definitely take a look at that collection on geNKY or come to the department, take a look at the print copy of that, and have a great February.